Yes, next up it is the second race of the day for the BMW Car Club Racing Championship. We don't actually have a grid on paper in front of us, but we do have it loaded in onto the system to give you the graphics for that in a moment, and we'll have the cars released out just as soon as the circuit is cleared of the last few cars from the previous race. Many thanks to Redbox Global, AA Woods and Autumn Escalators and Lifts for their sponsorship of this live stream of the BMW Car Club Racing Championship. A reminder that early on today it was a win for Rick Kerry in his BMW 1 Series V8. He was 5.8 seconds clear at the end of the race of David Kempton, and in third place was the 44 car of Mike Cutt earlier on. And we had class wins for Graham Crowhurst in Class M2. Jim Benson won Class 6. Just the one Class 4 car, which was Richard Harrison. And the Cup class was won once again by the championship leader, Matt Page. So championship-wise, coming into this meeting, it will have changed a little bit. It will still be Matt Page leading the way. Second coming into this meeting was Clive Watson, but he was only third earlier on. Third in the championship coming into the meeting on 30 points was Adrian Williams. Well, he finished second in Class M2 earlier today. Fourth on 66 points was Gary Hufford. He was eventually, I'm trying to see what happened to him in race 1. Yes, he was 10th in the end, wasn't he, after some dramas. So he will drop back probably in the standings because Rick Kerry will have gained on him because of that. So he was fourth, and then fifth in the standings, Darren Ball, who had dramas in the Club Enduro race, but he did take third place within the six-cylinder class a little bit earlier on today. It should have been the Formula V's at this point, but their race has been delayed to the end of the programme, and the hope is that the weather forecast is right and that the wind will have subsided a little bit by then and the conditions will be a little bit better for single-seater racing by that point, because the car is much more lightweight, more likely to be disrupted by the strong wind that we have here at Silverstone today. The forecast for tomorrow is better in that we're not expecting wind to be anything like as strong as it has been today. Maybe the odd shower, but nothing too serious to worry about. But we should have the BMWs on track shortly after that. We'll have the hot hatches, the Royal Purple hot hatches for their only race of the day. They're back out tomorrow. And we'll round out, as I say, with single-seaters from the Formula V's. So looking forward to all of that. BMW Car Club Racing Championship, introduced in 2018 as a series of racing rather than a championship. It's gained full championship status for this year. It's the only officially recognised BMW Car Club in the UK. It includes the one-make E46 BMW Cup for the little 325 TIs as well, so it's a 5-class offering in all for the BMWs for both M and non-M cars. 14 rounds in the championship this year. It opened up at Donington Park in over the Easter weekend, then moved on to Castle Combe in May as the cars are released now out onto the circuit. Brands Hatch last month. Then here we are at Silverstone with Alton, Snetterton and Silverstone to round out the season. Here's the grid then. It's Jason Holyhead, number 5, that's on pole position for this one, and alongside him is number 4, Graham Crowhurst. Second row will be, number 15, Graham Crowhurst. 44, Mike Cutt, and 11, David Kempton. It will be on row 2. 2, Rick Kerry, and 27, Richard Bromley on the third row. 67, Adrian Williams, and 3, Kaz Singh on the fourth row. So the top 5 from the earlier race have been reversed. On row 5 of the grid, it will be 83, Gary Burstow, and 4, Gary Hufford. 59, Jim Benson, and 7, Kevin Denwood are on row 12. 66, Mark Colmer, and 25, Darren Ball on row 7. Stuart Pyball, 76, and Gareth Montgomery, 64, are on the 8th row of the grid. Ninth row will be Joe Geach, 22, and Dean Clayton, 176. Bill Redrop, number 8, and Raheem Ballou, 55, on row 10. Matt Page, 46, and Chris Graham, 51, on row 11. Dominic Early, 45. Actually, I'm not sure that's right, so I'm going to go, yeah, Dominic Early and Rob Allman, I beg your pardon. On the 12th row, 13th row will be Sean Jackson, number 40, and Carl McMillan, number 60. Richard Harrison, treble 3, and Clive Watson, number 28. Will be, number 10 will be on row 14. Row 15 will be Adrian Ferdinands and Paul Laramie. Pete Skinner, Michael Darkman on finishes earlier on, and nor was Robert Davidson, but they should go from the back. So the car's off onto their green flag lap ahead of what is going to be this time an 18-minute plus 1 lap race for the BMW Car Club Racing Championship. So they had a 13-minute plus 1 lap race earlier, and they have this format of having effectively a sprint and a slightly longer feature race during the course of the day. And we do have the added interest then of this partially reversed grid with Jason Holyhead lining up on pole position. So he was 5th in race number 1 in his E36 M3. Yeah, it just looked like an E36, and alongside him is the Graham Crowhurst car. Graham Crowhurst 4th in the earlier race, the first of the Class M2 cars for the slightly lesser powered cars. Then on the inside of the second row, you're going to have Mike Cutt, who made a bad start to the first race, so we'll be looking to make amends for that here. That was from the front row, this time he's going from row 2, and he will be alongside David Kempton, 25 years, racing mostly in BMW. He's had a dabble in 911s as well down the years. And then Rick Kerry, our race 1 winner, will have to go from 5th position, but we saw he made a great start to the earlier race, Marcus, so expect more of the same from Rick Kerry, do you think?
He's a little boxed in though, isn't he, on row 3 here. He had a clear view at least of Abbey first time round. Did see whether Mike Cutt makes a better start. He went from 1st to 4th gear off the line last time round. Of course, at that point he was swamped by the bag. The last few guys just hoving into view at the back, round club corner. Still this vicious wind.
Yes, there was a lull where it didn't feel like it was about to peel the roof of our commentary box early on, but it certainly feels like it might do at any moment. If it all goes quiet, you'll know why. So we've got most of the grid now having come around club corner to line up on the grid. 18 minutes plus 1 lap ahead of these drivers. Last couple of cars coming into... Oh no, there's one more car still to come, and that is, I think, the Robert Davidson number 33 car right at the back of the field. That's
the one that was retirement in the early race, wasn't it?
Yeah. So there we are. There we are. Have our front row starters then. Jason Holyhead, number 69, and Graham Crowhurst, number 15. I think we've had or are about to have the green flag from the back. Now we just need to manoeuvre one of the cars I can see out of our window to get them in absolutely the right position. We should get the green flag, and this race will be underway. There is the green flag at the back, so any moment now red lights will go on, which they do now, and away we go. And it's a pretty good start there by the pole position, not the pole position car from the inside. Graham Crowhurst pole position on the outside here, and it's Jason Holyhead that's going to lose out to Crowhurst as they go through Abbey Corner for the first time by the looks of it. The field's streaming through the first corner, more than 30 BMWs, so it looks like it's Crowhurst from Holyhead.
Cuts up the inside, tight line, squeezing through. 1 or 2 run rather wide.
Yeah, so Cutt hasn't made the same mistake this time. He's made a pretty solid start to the race here, and he's still there in 3rd, but look at this, Crowhurst has already pulled out a few car lengths over Holyhead as they come down the hanger straight towards us for the first time.
Cutt in 3rd, isn't it? Kerry looks to be 5th or 6th at this point.
Yeah, it's behind, is that Gary Hufford? Just is the number 4 car. Yeah. Or level pegging with him at any rate as they go into Stowe Corner. So number 2, Rick Kerry, trying to go around the outside of number 4, Gary Hufford. And Hufford, no, he's done it. He has done it. He's gone through.
Cut back the other way, hasn't he? So he's come down the outside into village. There's 3 abreast. They won't all fit, surely. They do somehow. That was all a bit hairy, wasn't it, Ian?
Yeah, it's David Kempton then that's moved ahead of Jason Holyhead. Rick Kerry's now trying to do light ways at Club Corner, but it's Graham Crowhurst that leads then by the looks of it. Mike Cutt is in second place, number 44. Third place is David Kempton. In fourth place is Holyhead. In fifth place, Rick Kerry. Sixth place, Gary Hufford. Kaz Singh, of course, started from the back and got up to 8th in the earlier race. Well, up to 7th here is Kaz. So let's see what he can do in race number 2 from a better starting position. Richard Bromley, Adrian Williams, Gary Burstow round out the top 10 at the end of lap 1 as they make their way through the left-hander farm, out through the hairpin, then back onto the hanger straight. And it's going to be side by side for the lead here between Mike Cutt and Graham Crowhurst. Now, Mike Cutt's car is theoretically more powerful. It looks like he's already got his nose in front. Yes, he has. So from third at the start of the race, Mike Cutt now moves into the lead halfway around lap number 2, and Graham Crowhurst, the early leader, drops back down into second position.
Yeah, Rick Kerry there in the middle of that next group. And to be honest, with an extra 5 laps, or 5 minutes into this race, then you've got time to be a little bit more tactical, bring those tyres in a bit more carefully, and just see how the race pans out. Just keep your adversaries in sight.
Yep, David Kempton's also moved ahead of Crowhurst, now up into second place. It looks like Rick Kerry even is going to go third. Yes, he does. So Rick Kerry up to third. Only a second covering the top 3. So it looks like we're in for a good race here. Crowhurst trying to fight back down towards the village hairpin, but Rick Kerry will hold on. And it's Holyhead and Hufford and Kaz Singh, the number 3 car there in the background. But Cutt it is that now leads this race. Jim Benson, you can see, 14th position overall, number 59. He leads the 6-cylinder class. Of course, Graham Crowhurst leading class M2. We'll try and pick up what's going on in the Cup class as well in a moment. But the leaders making their way through. It looks like Matt Page, by the way, in 21st overall is still leading the Cup class. There's Gary Hufford having a look at the inside of Jason Holyhead as they go into Stoke Corner that time. And the number 69 driver looks like he's going to lose out, as he does to Gary Hufford. So the builder from Stevenage, Gary Hufford, goes through for the moment 5th place, but Holyhead's not giving up. And there's yellow flags I saw there, and there was contact there under yellow flags, and that has put Hufford off the road, I'm afraid to say. So Holyhead possibly slightly in advantage. Oh, now there's 2 spinners, because one of them is Kaz Singh, and almost in sympathy there, it looked like Hufford had a half spin as well, but he's got going. But Kaz Singh's car is now beached. Well, it's not in the gravel trap, but there's some gravel there on the tarmac, top of the tarmac, so it'll be a slippery surface that he's got to find his way off there. So Kaz Singh going backwards down the order rather than up the order as he was in the earlier race. So Mike Cutt it is that leads. Right, here's a replay of that incident. So we see the yellow flags in the background, but here comes the car of Holyhead. What do you reckon, Marcus?
Not going to happen, was it? Close. It was all a bit tight through there, and he hit Crowhurst, Hufford, in the door.
Yeah, and then just
and there was a touch there as well,
which was just as Hufford was recovering, really, wasn't it? So there's nothing intentional there.
Round. No.
Yeah. So Singh probably the innocent party amongst all of that. That was a lap ago. Back at that same part of the circuit now. Mike Cutt, David Kempton, and Rick Kerry. And being pushed off to the side there is the number 45 car. I thought it was 45. We don't have enough. Oh, and there's Hufford again. Off.
Yeah, he must have some damage somewhere, which is causing this to happen.
Yeah. So
that's it. He's given up now. I
think he's called it a day. Gary Hufford. Why is he pointing his car now? I mean, Robert Davidson, I can see, is up to 8th place. He started from the back. Yeah. Is that the It's not the 46 car because it's not the right shape for Matt Page's car. Apologies, couldn't quite work out which car that was that's stopped. Hang on, if I look at my... is the 45 car, beg your pardon, it's changed the program. It's Dominic Early, isn't it? 45 Dominic Early in the 330 that was off there.
Robert Davidson from the back is now up into 8th place in car number 33.
Hopefully he's got the bonnet issue sorted out from the early race. Now there's our race 1 six-cylinder class winner, the blue and red car, 59, Jim Benson there. He's third at the moment behind Darren Ball and Gareth Montgomery in that class, but it's a three-way fight in that class. That's the fight for second that was just coming down into the Vale there between David Kempton and Rick Kerry. But I think we're going to have a look. Yes, we are going to look at the six-cylinder class battle here. There it is, 25 Darren Ball, 64 Gareth Montgomery and 59 Jim Benson right together.
Shattering bonnet on the white and green car at the front of that group.
Yeah, that's Ball who leads the class at the moment, the six-cylinder class, down towards the Vale they come then. Fourth car just behind them as well is Stuart Pywell, so actually it's a four-car battle for the six-cylinder class lead. Stuart Pywell and the number 76 car, new car for last season for the 42-year-old from Wakefield. So he's in the back of that group, that sort of battleship grey coloured 1 Series.
Davidson is more than 3 seconds quicker than Williams ahead of him, and also Bromley and Holyhead and Crowhurst are all going to be caught at this rate quite rapidly.
He's done the best lap of the race, hasn't he? 1:14.29. What was the best lap in the earlier race? A 1:14.27 for Rick Kerry. So it's a couple of hundreds off that. Kerry's done a 1:14.69 so far in the course of this race. He's there in third place, only just behind David Kempton. Here's this battle in the six-cylinder class. We've had a change.
Snaking their way down the Hanger Straight.
They really were, weren't they? Jim Benson's going for the lead. Down the inside, he was up to second place, past Gareth Montgomery. He's now alongside into Stowe Corner, and he goes around and goes through on the inside. So Jim Benson, the winner in the early race, is back in front, but Darren Ball fighting back here as they come down to the Vale. Car snakes under braking there, and he retains the position, or regains the position, I should say. The Rutec International Racing car of Darren Ball back in front ahead of Jim Benson. So, as ever, good fighting in the six-cylinder class ranks for the non-M Series cars.
Kempton now out front from cut. Kerry, Crowhurst and Holyhead.
Side by side for second here, with Kerry getting ahead of Cut. So Cut, no, he's fighting back into Stowe Corner. So 3 leaders together, separated only by about 3/4 of a second as they come down the hill. So it's Kempton at number 11 leading the way. He's yet to have a win this season. The victories so far, well, 3 of them have gone to Rick Kerry, 1 here earlier on today, and 2 at Castle Combe. Mike Cut won both at Donington. Gary Hufford won both at Brands, so we're looking for maybe our 4th different winner of the season here, and David Kempton would very much like it to be him. Here's the battle in the six-cylinder cars again, going into Stowe, and this time it looks like Jim Benson's going to do it again. Is he on the inside line? He did it on the previous lap though.
Let's try a move we know, see what happens next. I mean,
if you keep repeating the same thing often enough, eventually might work out. This time,
locked up.
Yeah, Ball different approach this time. He was down the inside a lap ago, but this time he's tucked in behind Benson, so Benson does hold on. Maybe he'll find somewhere else to try and challenge, or maybe he realises that if he just sits in behind him for 8 of the remaining 8.5 minutes, then he can have a go on the last lap.
Have a lunge down the Hanger Straight into Stowe on the final lap. Yeah, take him by surprise.
Yeah. So
Davison up into 7th now.
Just saw Kaz Singh as well, making his way through that battle as he recovers after that spin instigated by that contact with Gary Hufford.
Only leader David Kempton and Rick Kerry in 11 and 2 respectively quicker on that lap than Robert Davidson, who is down in 7th place from the back of the grid.
Yeah. So class 2 but still being led by Graham Crowhurst, 6th class by Jim Benson. Let's have a look at what's going on in the Cup class. Well, Matt Page is still there, 19th position overall. He is leading Clive Watson, who is in 2nd, and Pete Skinner is in 3rd in the Cup class. We've seen some good racing from that already during the course of this season, but it's good action at the front here between David Kempton and Rick Kerry now as they go through the village hairpin. Not much to choose between them there. So with 7.5 minutes of the race to go. Also good action in the 6-cylinder class as well. But leaders coming on to the Hanger Straight for the 9th time. Bit of traffic ahead for them to deal with on this lap.
This is where the torque of the V8 may well help when you're among traffic. Rick Kerry squeezing down to the right-hand side of the leader on the inside towards Stowe, with other cars to lap. One of them, the compact that ended up off at club in the first race with broken steering.
It's interesting you mentioned the talk of Rick Kerry's engine, because I know the engine that David Kempton's got in this car for this season is an S54, and he was saying that the reason for that is because of the extra torque that offers out of slow corners as well. So that might sort of equalise the fight between those two, between Kempton and Kerry, who've crossed the line again, 0.4 of a second apart. I'm just going to come up and lap one of the Gulf liveried cars. Mike Cutt, is he into the pits? He
dropped back a bit, didn't he?
Yeah, I think Mike Cutt's into the pit lane based on the information I've got on the screen here. But look at this, we've got 4 cars abreast into Abbey out of our commentary box window. They all get through, some of them using a bit of the runoff area to make that work. 6 minutes left to go in this BMW Car Club Racing Championship race. After this they go to Alton, Snetterton and back here to Silverstone on the Grand Prix circuit in October to complete the season. Here are the 2 leaders once again then, Kempton and Kerry, heading into Stowe Corner for the 10th time. 12 seconds between them at the start of the lap. Might be a little bit more than that now, if anything. Kempton's flashing his lights to, that's the treble 3 car, Richard Harrison.
He's running some camera on the front corners of that BM, isn't he?
He is.
A lot of negative camber on there. Get those tyres to work.
So they come on to the start and finish straight again. Another flash or 7 on the headlights to let the slower cars know that he's coming through, and he's squeezing through. Wants to put as many cars between himself and Kerry as he can.
Well, he's been bowled inadvertently by the driver doing his own thing.
I don't think it's cost him too much though, because Kerry's...
He's mired in traffic.
He is having his own delays, isn't he?
Davidson now 4th.
He's going to catch Crowhurst.
But he's 16 seconds off the lead now, so he has dropped back in real terms.
I mean, he could catch Crowhurst though, 8 seconds behind, 5 minutes to go, possibly not.
Well, he's going, what, just 1 or 2 seconds a lap quicker than when he gets clear lap.
He'll get close, won't he?
Yes, he will.
But probably not do it, so probably not good enough for a podium unless one of these drop out. Kerry 1.5 seconds behind at the start of the lap as he got mired in traffic, as Marcus was saying, so he has his work to do. Ex-British Touring Car Championship driver, ahead of the very experienced, or behind the very experienced David Kempton. That is the 83 car. The wing on that car is not where it should be. That's Gary Burstow. He put it 10 feet. It's like it's shifted 18 inches to the left somehow. It's collapsed probably. And
got some stagger built in for oval.
Quite a bit. There you can see that demonstrated quite nicely as it comes down the hang straight. It looks like there should be another bit coming off on the right-hand side of the car as the driver sees it. But that's interesting.
Ah, yes.
An interesting design feature. You should have a bit of sort of yellow tape on the end of that, you know, so to warn any cyclists that might try and overtake him on the inside. 3.5 minutes left to go. Kempton 1 second clear this time of Rick Kerry. Crowhurst 3rd, and that time through Davidson took 1.1 seconds out of him, so probably not going to catch him at that current rate of progress.
It's almost 7 seconds, that's 6.8 seconds between the two of them. Davidson is closing, not quickly enough.
Quick glimpse there between the 2 leaders of the number 46 car, which is our our BMW Cup class leader, Matt Page, in the 325 TIs.
Kerry's looking quite menacing again in the second place car. There's number 11, which is David Kempton, our race leader. Nicely prepared car. Yeah,
trying to encourage another back mark out of the way.
I think Rick Kerry's playing a canny game here. I think he's going to sit there, come out of that loop on that final lap, and then just gun it down the hanger straight.
Keeping his cards close to his chest, basically. Because the only lap that matters is the one at the end, isn't it?
Apparently so.
No points for laps led in the BMW Car Club Racing Championship. Although it's looking good for Matt Page as far as the overall championship is concerned. There's the Mini, the BMW Mini. Dean Clayton, number 176. At the wheel of that.
Robert Davidson took exactly 3 seconds out of Graham Crowhurst last time round, having mused that he wasn't going to do it.
Well, we said he needed to take about 2 seconds a lap. I took 1 the previous lap and now 3 that time. So it all
On law of averages, it works okay.
There's Darren Ball, and he is being passed by Stuart Pywell. This is for 3rd place within the 6-cylinder class. Pywell in the gunmetal grey car. He's going to have the inside line for Abbey. Ball is bonnet length in front as they turn in. And through the left-hand sweep, he'll go back ahead, I think, of Pywell.
You look at it and you think, you know, is all that wing necessary?
Maybe not in these circumstances. 1 minute and a quarter left to go. There is Jim Benson at the back of shot, leading the class from Gareth Montgomery, number 64, right behind him. And then what's going on behind that is Darren Ball and Stuart Pywell. And then behind that is the battle for the overall race lead. Just coming onto the hangar straight now with less than a minute to go. Side by side between Ball and Pywell for 3rd in the 6-cylinder class. No, it's not quite actually. So Ball holds on.
2.5 seconds between Crowhurst and 15 and 33 Davidson behind the leaders.
Mm-hmm.
From the back of the grid, remember. Might just sneak a podium out of this. Play it canny.
Yeah, and leaders will be up to the line shortly with 30 seconds to go, so they might get 2 more laps out of this, so that's good news for Davidson. If they do need to get 2 more laps out of it. He needs all the laps he can get. Because the leaders should, here they come now, they are into shot there. And they go on to their last lap, and there's only 27 hundredths between them now, so Kerry, you sense, you're right Marcus, he is ready to mount this attack. He's going to have 1 more lap to go at the end of the one he's just started, so he's got another opportunity if he needs it. Down towards the village hairpin go those 2 leaders then. And it's still Kempton, number 11, ahead of number 2, Rick Kerry, both of them very experienced BMW racers. Kerry's been racing in various different BMWs for a number of years. Then they appear in shot at the exit of the link, rejoining the circuit, effectively at Chapel Curve on the Grand Prix circuit. And coming back down the straight towards us, Kerry's going to have a look into Stowe Corner this time. There's traffic ahead, so he needs to make this move while he can, but he can't do it just yet.
Lots of traffic ahead in actual fact, and I think on the what would be their final lap, they will catch a big gaggle of cars.
Kempton's flashing his lights again as they come down to the Vale. He gets the Pywell car between himself and Kerry. That's good news for him. It delays Kerry, who will try and slide up the inside into the second element of Club Corner, and they will get the last lap board this time. I'm not sure they did actually. Yes, the last lap board has gone out, I think, now. So down towards us. They come half a second between them. They're trying to lap Darren Ball's car as well. He didn't seem to want to get out of the way particularly. David Kempton's now seen the black and white driving standards flag by the looks of it as well, presumably for track limits infringements. He's our race leader. Can't afford to do that again, otherwise he'll pick up a penalty, which will render this battle a moot point.
Quite a wide exit out of club on one occasion. This used to be a favourite.
Yeah, here they come out of the link onto this straight. Look at all these cars ahead of them, including the battle for the lead of the 6-cylinder class. Jim Benson a few yards ahead now of Gareth Montgomery. So here comes Kerry past that back marker, the 191 car. He's not close enough to do it at Stowe, so we're running out of opportunities now.
Kind of Vale or nowhere.
It is. Or does he? The problem is there's traffic, there's not going to be a gap there for him, surely, is there? He is quite late on the brakes, but not late enough, so it looks like it's going to be David Kempton that is going to come through Club Corner and out of it now. And David Kempton it is that takes the checkered flag after 16 laps of racing the BMW Car Club Racing Championship to win. 4th different winner this season. He wins by 0.3 of a second or so from Rick Kerry in second. Now, who is going to be third? Because Davidson had dropped right back, hadn't he?
Disappeared.
A couple of laps ago,
yeah.
So he was up in 3rd place. So it's Graham Crowhurst, number 15, that takes 3rd place comfortably in the end. And it should be Jason Hollyhead, therefore, that takes 4th position, number 69. Richard Bromley, 27, takes 5th. I think we'll find that Adrian Williams takes it, so we're not quite sure what happened to Robert Davidson there, having come from the back of the grid up to 4th, on the verge of a podium maybe, then drop right back again.
Kaz Singh recovered to 8th place in car number 3 after that early spin at Club, which is helped by the looks of things.
Yes, that's going to be behind Adrian Williams and Gary Burstow, 2nd and 3rd in the M2 class respectively. Kaz Singh, there he is on the screen in fact, 8th, number 3. Mark Colmer should be the next car through in a moment or two, taking 9th place overall, and then 10th place will be the E22 car of Joe Geach. But I think they've all now made it through over the line to complete their races, so with a bit of luck we will have a look at the results of that race. Here they go, and it is David Kempton, after 16 laps, winning by just 36 hundredths of a second from Rick Kerry. They both made up several places from their starting positions. Graham Crowhurst won Class M2 in 3rd place, ahead of Jason Hollyhead. Richard Bromley 5th, Adrian Williams was 6th, then Gary Burstow, Kaz Singh, Mark Coulmer and Joe Geach rounding out the top 10. Jim Benson, again winning the 6-cylinder class in car 59, 11th overall, ahead of Gareth Montgomery, Darren Ball and Stuart Pywell. Dean Clayton 15th, Rahoon Ballou 16th. Matt Page, the best of the Cup class cars, number 46 in 17th overall. Chris Graham and Bill Red up next up, then Clive Watson 2nd within the Cup class, and Sean Jackson, Rob Allman and Richard Harrison, the only 4-cylinder car here. Pete Skinner and Colin McMillan 3rd and 4th in the Cup class. Then Robert Davidson, we're into the non-finishers now, Paul Laramie, Adrian Ferdinand, Mike Cutt and Gary Hufford. So a few high-profile retirements during the course of that BMW Car Club Racing Championship race, and Dominic Early was an early retirement as well. So that's the end of the BMW Car Club Racing Championship action for today. They resume at Alton Park in September, but let's now hear from some happy BMW drivers with Josh Barrett.
Thanks. A bit of confusion about who we're going to get down here, but I think we'll get Graham Crowhurst, who was our M2 winner, so we'll let Graham jump out of his M3. 3rd overall as well for Graham. We've lost Dave Kempton, so I don't know if he took the flag twice, Ian. I don't know if you spotted that.
I didn't notice it, but he may well have done. So, but talk to Graham.
Did an extra lap, I think. That's what it was.
Well done, Graham. 3rd overall, but a class win, a double class win this weekend at Silverstone.
Yeah, not a bad day in the office and all that.
And reverse grid meant you got to start in front of all the M1 guys and led for a little bit.
Yeah, I got drawn at pole at Brands and I got an awful start off the line. So I was quite happy with the start this time. I managed to get into the lead. I was hoping they would battle with each other for a bit longer and stay behind me, but ultimately they're supposed to be in front and the power proved so.
But it shows you these M2 cars, when driven well, can really take the fight even around a track that you really need a lot of power around.
Well, I'll take the compliment well, and yeah, you do need power here, but we're all the same through the corners, so throw it in, hope for the best.
And obviously good for the championship, M2 championship leader, and very strong in the overall standings too.
I don't know, to be honest with you. I'm just taking race by race. You have got to drop scores, and I have got bad scores to drop, but I don't want to start dropping more, so just keep coming 1st or 2nd, and yeah.
Well done today.
Thank you very much.
That was Graham Crowhurst, our M2 winner. Now, this could be complicated about getting to anybody else. And let's see who we can find. Well, David Kempton, our overall winner, is down here, being congratulated by Rick Kerry after that great battle they had. Dave, well done, a win there, but that wasn't easy.
Well, it wouldn't have been a race without some of these other top guys in here, really. I mean, it's the first time I've had a win in quite a while. It's been overdue. This is for all the over 50s out there. So if you think you're going to start life and it's all dull at 50, I'm telling you now it's not. I mean, hats off here to Rick, excellent driver. I mean, you've got some good drivers in this series, you know, and it's getting bigger and bigger all through the classes. Very fair driving. Mike Cutt had a good race as well. But this boy kept me on it. Oh, he was on it, and I was defending for my life, you know. And he was fair, I was fair, gave him room. But I had the legs, and I'm a bit surprised, really. But I'm surprised with the way the pace went. But I'm due this, so I'll enjoy it.
And the traffic as well, right at the end there, must have made it difficult to know where to go.
Well, the thing is, a few weeks ago, we fitted a button on the steering wheel, just more for a laugh, to flash it intently to get people out the way. And you know, I had it on the whole race. They were very good, the back markers. They were having their own independent races, but they were very good. I've got a bit lucky when Rick caught me up, and I managed to dive up the inside of some back markers that gave me room to give me a bit of breathing space. But then, you know, with a couple of corners, he was back on my bumper again, and I'm looking in the rear view mirror. Fantastic racer.
Well done. Let's bring Rick in. Well done, Rick. A good day, a first and a second, a great race there as well.
Oh yeah, well chuffed. Great race with Dave. I think I first raced with Dave about 16, 17 years ago. So to have a great race like that and give each other a bit of respect, I'd probably give him too much because he beat me. But yeah, it was great. That's what we want to come here for. Decent race and door handle, we're enjoying it and not smashing each other off the track.
Well done on your second place. Let's see, got some other class winners about. I think we lost all our class winners. We have lost our class winners, so we move on to our next race, which is the Hot Hatch Championship.